infrastructure, who are going to champion the sorts of things that local people want, need, expect and most of all deserve. Bridget has done that in Victoria and right throughout the nation as the Minister for Regional Services, concentrating largely on regional communications, where she, backed up by Fiona Nash previously, has built or funded 867 mobile black spot phone towers right throughout our nation. And I was there for the 600th delivery of that in Manjimup in Western Australia. Little community, not that large, but you know what? That's going to make a world of difference for their businesses and for their people and their safety. That's the sort of things that Bridget McKenzie is doing. If she wants to run for the seat of Mallee, she'll have my full support.
Senator McKenzie, are you going to run for the seat of Mallee?
Well, there's been a lot of speculation in recent times about what I, as Senator for Victoria, am going to do. But I can tell you what I'm not going to do. It is not going to give up on representing the great state of Victoria, give up for fighting for rural and regional Australia. And I'm Deputy Leader of the Nationals, and my role is to support the strong leadership of Michael McCormack and what we as a team have been able to deliver this year for regional Australia. It's actually been quite transformative. If you look at our rural health package, if you look at the backing of regional education, if you look at the iconic infrastructure investment that Michael's been able to make as part of his portfolio. I think back, it's been a year since I've been Deputy Leader, and I think 3 of the most difficult weeks of my political career were supporting our previous leader as he sought to get the balance right between his personal and professional life. And I think they were incredibly difficult. But the National Party has remained strong. We've continued to deliver for our community. And I can't think of a better partner to deliver for regional Australia with than our leader and the Acting Prime Minister, Michael McCormack.
Do you think the behaviour of the male politicians is out of control in the Nats?
Look, I think, as I've said publicly in my public statements, it's been disappointing and not reflective of the National Party members and senators more broadly, and indeed our membership's expectations or the broader community. So I think Andrew Broad made the right decision to resign from the ministry and to retire at the next election and to focus on his family.
Are you ruling out that you will not run for the seat of Mallee?
3 years ago, I ran to be Senator for the great state of Victoria for 6 years. That's the job application I put into Victorians. That is the role that I'm fulfilling now. I've been blessed to have been elected the Deputy Leader a year ago. I've supported the previous leader. I'm backing up our current leader who's going to lead us to the next election, and that's what I'm focused on. This week I've been in 6 different states, and I've been focused on rolling out our Commonwealth sporting infrastructure grants, $30 million into community clubs, and I know here in the Riverina some of the smaller footy clubs have been able to update change rooms, etc., from the tsunami of female sporting interest at community club level, and that's been something I've been focused on in addition with the rural health stuff. So I'm just busy getting on with the job.
Do you have any leadership ambitions?
I'm the Deputy Leader.
More about the leader itself.
I love that question because it's sort of like, do you have any leadership ambitions? Well, I ran for the Deputy Leadership, and I'm the Deputy Leader, and my role is to back the leader, which I always do.
Mr McCormack, I understand there's a prisoner in the UAE at the moment. Will the Australian government be lobbying for that man's release?
Well, the Australian government always provides consular support to Australians overseas who find themselves in a spot of bother, whether that's with the law, medically, or whatever the case might be. And so we always provide that consular support, and I'm sure that that question, when put to our Foreign Affairs Minister, certainly she'll be providing further details on that.
What do you think of John Barilaro's decision to brand the New South Wales Nats as a separate entity, excluding the Liberals in this upcoming state election? Well,
the National Party have always been a separate entity to the Liberal Party. We are different parties. We have very similar policies where it's like your favourite cousin. You get on with your favourite cousin. You share Christmas with them, and you share the good times with them, but you're from essentially different families. And we have a very strong relationship federally. with our Liberal colleagues. We help to deliver for people in rural and regional Australia, indeed right across the nation, with our Liberal colleagues. I've got a great relationship with Prime Minister Scott Morrison. That will continue. And just like John Barilaro has a fantastic relationship with Gladys Berejiklian, the Premier. And you know, John Barilaro and the New South Wales Nationals have delivered in spades for regional New South Wales. When the $4.2 billion for the sale of Snowy Hydro went entirely to regions other than Sydney, Newcastle and Wollongong, what an amazing effort that was. And I look very much forward to supporting McKenna Powell right here beside me. Step forward, McKenna. What a fantastic candidate she's going to be for the Nationals in the next state election. Here's a person with agribusiness experience. Here's a person who's been on many community groups. I was at her pre-selection on Saturday when two outstanding women put their hands forward to represent the Nationals in the state seat, in the state election for the state seat of Wagga Wagga, and McKenna was absolutely outstanding. And she talked about the things that, you know, ordinary everyday Australians are talking about. Those here in Wagga Wagga, those in the Snowy Valleys and Lockhart Shires, talking about jobs, talking about infrastructure, talking about all the things that people want us to fight for. McKenna Powell is a fighter, I'm a fighter, Bridget McKenzie's a fighter. That's what National Party people do. And John Barilaro, I wish him all the best going forward into the next election, because we need National Party representation to make sure we get the balance right, to make sure that the voices in regional Australia are heard. That's what National Party people do. We do it in conjunction with the regional Liberals, we do it in conjunction with the Liberal Party generally, but we are our own separate party. We have our own views on many things, and we fight hard to achieve them, and we fight hard to achieve the sorts of things that regional Australians would expect us to deliver.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Okay, so that was from Wagga Wagga in New South Wales. It wasn't live, but it was just in that last half hour or so that happened. The Nationals leader Michael McCormack and Deputy Bridget McKenzie speaking there. Mr McCormack strongly supporting Bridget McKenzie if she decides to put her hand up for the seat of Mallee in Victoria.